I'm talking about from an entertainment point of view. I would rather tune into an Arsenal game at the moment than a Man City game. Welcome to FTBL Culture. It's your boy CultureCams. It's the international break, so you know what that means. It means let's look at what's been happening so far in the season. And I'm gonna head to the Premier League and over to North London to put the focus on one team, and that is Arsenal Football Club. But first and foremost, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Turn your notifications on so you can keep up to date with this amazing content. Let's go. Look, I'm feeling good today. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling generous. I got a hat on. I got the baggy ass, large Dortmund top on as well. I'm feeling it. It's going for the retro look. Production are saying I look like I'm about to go to a house rave. Listen, I wish I was, but I'm here producing content for you guys. And since I'm in such a good mood, I'm feeling generous. I'm feeling unbiased, even though I'm never really biased, but I'm here to give flowers and dissect and get into Arsenal Football Club and Mikel Arteta. So if you're an Arsenal fan, I know you're gonna enjoy this one. 6 wins from 7 in the Premier League, which, listen, I'll be perfectly honest, I did not expect Arsenal to win the first 6 of their 7 games. You know, like, you just never really know what you can predict with Arsenal, especially considering they lost their first 3 last season. So you're thinking, you know, they're not really going to do anything. They fell away last season. They finished 5th. Thinking, okay, yeah, they made improvements last year, but it's not going to be that great. But the little addition of Zinchenko, the addition of Gabriel Jesus, the addition of William Saliba coming back from loan has been massive for them. So Arsenal right now are in a great moment, and you got to take your hat off to them. You know, a lot of people will say, you know, they've beat a bunch of nobodies or whatever. But I'm on record to say that this is the Super League. So every game is a tough one. Because let's be real, I would have thought Palace away, 3 points for Palace. Typical old Arsenal would have dropped points there. But this season, they went there and they got a win. And yes, they did lose their big first test. They did lose their big first test, but it's all about making baby step improvements. Arsenal haven't been in the Champions League for 6 years. First and foremost, their target needs to be get top 4. And I know some of their fans right now are dreaming. They're dreaming of a title. I'm seeing some fans say, I'm at that point of my life where I'm looking at Man City results. Maybe you gotta slow down just a little bit because it's early in the season. But their first target needs to be get Champions League football, and they're perfectly en route for that. The Man United game, you can maybe say was a bit of naivety. Maybe they were feeling themselves a little bit too much, going for the game a little bit too much when you still got to respect your opponent. And when you have someone like Marcus Rashford going the other way, 2 goals, night. Simple as that. So I think that was a moment which they maybe needed to understand what they got to do going forward against the big teams in the future. Maybe that was a little lesson for them. But they bounced back with an absolute dominant display against Brentford. It's not just about this season that I want to give them their credit for. It's about how they've even got to this point, you know, like you've got to give Arsenal massive respect because once upon a time, Arteta, his head was on the chopping block. Fans wanted him out. Our opposing fans were laughing. Please keep Arteta, please keep him. It was the banter era in full flow. Of course, he joined the club, won the FA Cup, and it was great. But from there, you know, the 8th place finish and the 5th place finish, it was just kind of like, whatever. But he has done a fantastic job, in my opinion. Not only on the pitch, but getting the fans on board. When you go to the Emirates, when you look at the Emirates, it's a very, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a very connected stadium. Everyone is with each other. I'm seeing sections now that sing and play music and drums and whatever they're doing. It's a good vibe over at that club, and that is down to the work that Arteta's done. I praise Ten Hag. I gave him all the credit for walking into the football club and making big decisions early, and I've got to give that to Arteta as well. He came in, he looked at some players, he said he doesn't want this player, doesn't want Guendouzi, he doesn't want this guy. And he went for the leader of the team, you know, Aubameyang, who's now at Chelsea doing all sorts, but he went for the leader of the club and he got him out of here. And he's brought in a better player now in Jesus, and they're reaping the rewards. Yes, I do think last season they missed the trick by not signing an Aubameyang replacement in January, but maybe that's a hierarchy issue. We don't really know. What I do know is the signings that he has brought in have been excellent, and you've got to give him the credit for that. I always say signings, playing style, how to handle big players, those are key factors in getting a club back on board. And he has ticked those boxes so far. Now, I'm not here to say that Arsenal are going to win the Premier League and blah, 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 but they are putting in a strong account for themselves to be a top 4 team. And it's not just that they're getting results. The football is brilliant. And in my opinion, they are playing the best football in the Premier League at the moment to watch. You know, Brighton were playing great football under Potter, but now he's at Chelsea. Man City are playing decent. I mean, Man City play great football all the time, but I'm talking about from an entertainment point of view. I would rather tune into an Arsenal game at the moment than a Man City game. And considering the gulf in quality between the two sides, that is a massive credit to the work that Arteta's doing. He is showing that he has an adaptation to it as well. So for me, I've got to give him his credit. Another thing that was so spoken about was the handling of the situation with Saliba. You know, people were saying, did he handle that correctly? People were saying he wanted that, apparently they were going to sell him. But those loans might have actually proved to be good for Saliba. You've got to look at it. I mean, he's gone on loan. He dominated last season, got Young Player of the Year in the French League. And now he's one of the leading centre-halves in the Premier League. So if we're just talking in black and white, realistically, Arsenal sent a guy, a young player on loan. He learned his trade, and now they have got him back to be one of the leading centre-halves in the Premier League. That is absolutely sensational business. And they're about to tie him down probably to a 5-year super max. So they're eating good. So in that way, in my opinion, Arteta handled that well. And you know, some people will say, well, it was by luck. Well, Saliba's back and he's starting. Saliba's not back and he's, you know, on the bench. He's starting, he's moved Ben White, his £50 million signing, to right back. So let's be honest, we've got to give him the credit on that. I think it was handled well. There was a lot of media talk. There was a lot of, why is he gone, why is he gone? But in the long run, I think it's worked out well. I've seen young defenders coming with so much pressure, have to get the job done immediately. Listen, I'm a Man United fan. I've seen Phil Jones come into Manchester United, get called the next Duncan Edwards, the next captain of the club, and this, that, then slowly fade away and crash away. We've seen it with young centre-halves before. So the handling of that, I think, was very good. Xhaka's been absolutely sensational this season. And again, the little position change from Arteta has got him balling. Everyone wanted Xhaka out at one point. I mean, he even, let me not even put my, you know what he did. We know what he did to the fans. There was a time where he was out of that club. But Arteta has got him together and he's doing a wonderful thing there. So if I was an Arsenal fan, there is going to be people that are skeptical. There is going to be people that are like, listen, like, you know, we've been burnt before and, you know, he's not a world-class name or anything like that. But I would be fully behind him, in all honesty. Like, banter aside, trolling aside, I will be fully behind this guy for now. Because so far, he's ticked the boxes that need to be ticked. Now, it's about the next level. But I've got to give a massive applause to Arsenal so far for keeping him, not folding under pressure, and now we're starting to see the benefits, you know, because it's such an era in which managers are not allowed to grind through mistakes. Managers are not allowed to grind through bad results. The minute it goes left, gone. Everyone already now, Brendan Rodgers, get out, please. Out, Rodgers out, Rodgers out. I'm like, yo, hold on a second. Back-to-back Europa League finishes, FA Cup, Community Shield, and now you're screaming for him to go. Like, maybe look elsewhere. But it's such an era now that you make a couple mistakes, you're out. Scott Parker, thank you for promotion. See you later in 2 games. You're fired. I mean, this is the era we're living in. Tuchel, thank you very much for the Champions League. Bye. Like, it's a crazy era, so you got to give respect for Arsenal for sticking to their guns. But that was my spotlight on Arsenal so far. Guys, let me know who else you think I should be putting a spotlight on. I had to start with Arsenal because they absolutely deserve it at this point. Drop in the comments who you think I should talk about next. Like, share, subscribe. Make sure you turn your notifications on. It's hurting me that I had to give that much respect to Arsenal. I mean, next one I hope it's Man United, you know what I mean? But listen, Arsenal's next 2 games, the North London Derby and Liverpool, talk soon. Let me tell you that, talk soon. But guys, it's CultureCams. I'm out.